The galaxy teetered on the edge of chaos, with countless species entangled in a web of alliances, betrayals, and relentless warfare. For centuries, conflicts had flared across star systems, driven by the pursuit of power, resources, and survival. Among the many factions vying for dominance, the alien empire stood out as the most aggressive and feared. Their reach extended across vast regions of space, their fleets were unmatched in number and firepower, and their ambition knew no bounds. It was only a matter of time before their gaze turned toward Earth, a relatively young player on the galactic stage, but one with untapped potential and resources that the Empire coveted. On Earth, the tension was palpable. Humanity had long been aware of the alien empire's growing interest in their world, and the ominous signs were impossible to ignore. The Earth government, comprised of leaders, scientists, and military strategists, convened in urgent sessions, their discussions heavy with the knowledge that they might soon face an enemy far beyond their conventional means of defense. While humanity had made significant advancements in technology and warfare, they knew that their fleets, however formidable, would be hard-pressed to stand against the sheer scale of the alien empire's forces. The threat became explicit when the alien empire issued a direct and chilling message to Earth. It was not a negotiation, it was a declaration of intent. They boasted of their vast armadas, their superior technology, and their inevitable victory. The message was clear: surrender, or be annihilated. The alien leaders, confident in their ability to crush any resistance, made it known that they would not tolerate defiance. They saw Earth as just another planet to be brought under their control, another step in their inexorable march toward galactic supremacy. As the gravity of the situation sank in, Earth's leaders knew they had to act swiftly. In a secret council, convened deep within the fortified command centers of Earth, they unveiled the trump card that had been years in the making: planet-sized warships. These colossal vessels, hidden from the prying eyes of the galaxy, had been constructed in remote, heavily guarded sectors of space. They were unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen: vast, self-sustaining ecosystems capable of housing millions, equipped with weaponry powerful enough to destroy entire fleets with a single salvo. These warships were not just military assets, they were symbols of humanity's resilience, ingenuity, and willingness to do whatever it took to survive. The decision to reveal these warships was not taken lightly. The element of surprise was a critical advantage, but with the alien empire's invasion imminent, humanity needed to send a clear message: they would not be easily conquered. The warships were not just deterrents, they were a declaration of humanity's intent to defend its home at any cost. Earth's leaders agreed that the time had come to show the galaxy, and more importantly, the alien empire, what they were truly capable of. With the decision made, preparations were set in motion. The revelation of the planet-sized warships would be a calculated risk, a move designed to shift the balance of power and force the alien empire to reconsider its plans. Humanity's hope was that the sheer scale and power of these warships would be enough to deter the Empire from launching its invasion, or at the very least, give them pause. The galaxy was about to witness a new chapter in human history, one where Earth would no longer be seen as a minor player but as a force to be reckoned with. As the final preparations were made, Earth's leaders steeled themselves for what was to come. The gathering storm on the horizon was a harbinger of the conflict that loomed large, but for the first time, humanity had the means to stand tall against the tide. The planet-sized warships were more than just machines of war. They were the embodiment of humanity's will to survive, to protect their home, and to ensure that they would never again be threatened by forces beyond their control. The stage was set, and the galaxy was about to learn the true strength of humanity. The revelation of humanity's planet-sized warships sent ripples of shock through the alien empire. The sheer audacity of such a creation was beyond anything their intelligence services had predicted. For centuries, the Empire had maintained its dominance through superior technology, overwhelming numbers, and a reputation for crushing any opposition. Yet, this development had caught them completely off guard. The immediate reaction within the Empire's high command was disbelief, followed swiftly by a scramble to verify the existence and capabilities of these colossal vessels. The Empire's intelligence network, usually so reliable, found itself woefully unprepared. Reports came in piecemeal, each one more alarming than the last. Analysts pored over satellite images, intercepted communications, and other data, trying to piece together the reality of what they were facing. The evidence was undeniable. These were not just exaggerated rumors or psychological warfare. Humanity had indeed constructed warships on a scale that dwarfed anything the galaxy had ever seen. The implications were staggering, and the Empire's leadership knew they had to respond swiftly. Within the Empire's ruling council, the revelation sparked a heated debate. Some leaders, particularly those with a more hawkish mindset, argued for immediate action. They believed that a preemptive strike was the only option. The warships, they reasoned, might still be vulnerable as they were brought online. A decisive blow could cripple humanity before these massive vessels became fully operational, preserving the Empire's superiority. Others, however, urged caution. They pointed out that humanity had managed to keep the warships hidden for this long, suggesting a level of strategic foresight and technological advancement that could not be underestimated. A hasty attack could backfire disastrously, leading to a conflict that the Empire might not win. As the Empire deliberated, Earth's leaders made their next move. They broadcast a message to the entire galaxy, a statement of intent that left no room for ambiguity. The message was simple yet powerful. Humanity had developed these warships as a means of defense, not conquest, but any act of aggression would be met with overwhelming force. The broadcast included images and data showcasing the warships in all their glory, highlighting their capabilities and the sheer scale of their power. It was a declaration of resolve, a clear signal that humanity was ready to protect itself against any threat, no matter how formidable. The psychological impact of this revelation was profound. Across the galaxy, species that had once viewed humanity as a minor player began to reconsider their perceptions. The existence of the planet-sized warships forced a reevaluation of alliances and strategies. Some species, previously aligned with the alien empire or other aggressive factions, began to question whether continuing their conflicts was wise. The warships were not just weapons, they were symbols of a new balance of power. The galaxy's political landscape was shifting, and everyone knew it. Despite the deterrent effect of the warships, the alien empire was not willing to back down completely. The Council, after much debate, decided on a course of action. They would mobilize their forces, preparing for a potential confrontation, while continuing to gather intelligence on the warships. The Empire's leaders believed that the warships, while impressive, might have vulnerabilities that could be exploited. Perhaps they were still untested in real combat, or maybe their size made them slow and cumbersome. The Empire's military strategists began developing plans to probe these weaknesses, even as they increased their defenses and prepared their fleets for battle. The galaxy held its breath as the standoff escalated. The alien empire, long accustomed to dictating terms, now found itself in a position of uncertainty. They had always been the aggressors, the ones who set the rules, but now they were confronted with an opponent that had not only matched their power but potentially exceeded it. The warships loomed large in the collective imagination of the galaxy, both as a deterrent and as a harbinger of a new era in interstellar conflict. Earth's leaders, aware of the stakes, remained resolute. They knew that the warships alone would not be enough to ensure peace. They needed to maintain their diplomatic and military readiness. But they also understood the psychological advantage they now held. The alien empire was hesitating, unsure of its next move, and that hesitation could be humanity's greatest ally. The standoff was far from over, but for the first time, the balance of power had shifted, and humanity was no longer merely reacting to threats. They were defining the terms of engagement. The alien empire, still grappling with the implications of humanity's newfound power, decided to test the humans' resolve. A sizable fleet, comprised of some of the Empire's most advanced warships, was dispatched to the outer edges of Earth's territory. The mission was clear: probe the humans' defenses, gather intelligence on these so-called planet-sized warships, and if possible, provoke a response that would reveal their true capabilities. The Empire's leaders believed that if they could expose any weaknesses, it might provide the leverage needed to regain the upper hand. The human response was immediate and unequivocal. As soon as the alien fleet breached the outer limits of Earth's controlled space, the planet-sized warships moved into position. These colossal vessels, previously hidden in the vastness of space, now revealed themselves with a deliberate and awe-inspiring display. Their sheer size dwarfed even the largest of the alien warships, casting massive shadows that seemed to stretch across the void. The alien fleet, confident in its strength, advanced without hesitation, unaware of the devastation that awaited them. In a matter of moments, the true power of the warships was unleashed. The humans did not hesitate. Their response was swift and overwhelming. The warships' weapon systems, vastly more advanced than anything the galaxy had seen, roared to life. A single volley from these behemoths was enough to annihilate entire squadrons of alien ships. Energy beams of unimaginable intensity lanced through the void, slicing through shields and armor as if they were nothing. Missiles the size of cities launched from the warships, each one carrying enough destructive force to obliterate multiple enemy vessels. The alien fleet, caught completely off guard, was decimated in the opening moments of the confrontation. The scale of destruction was beyond anything the alien commanders had anticipated. Their ships, which had once stood as symbols of the Empire's military prowess, were reduced to debris in seconds. The warship's firepower was not just overwhelming, it was absolute. Every shot was precise, every strike intentional, leaving no room for escape or retaliation. The aliens, who had come to test humanity's resolve, found themselves facing a force that was not just defending but dominating. But the warships were more than just engines of destruction. As the battle unfolded, the story delved into the complexity of these massive constructs. They were, in many ways, entire worlds unto themselves, self-sustaining ecosystems capable of supporting millions of people. Inside these warships, cities thrived, complete with infrastructure, agriculture, and industry. They were designed not only to wage war but to sustain life for extended periods, even in the harshest conditions. These ships were a testament to humanity's ingenuity, combining military might with the ability to support civilization on a scale never before imagined. As the alien fleet crumbled, the realization of their hopeless situation set in. The few remaining alien ships, battered and disoriented, attempted to retreat. The human warships, having made their point, allowed some of the alien vessels to escape. This was not an act of mercy but a calculated decision. The humans wanted the survivors to return to their empire and tell the tale of what they had encountered. The message was clear: further aggression would be futile, and any attempt to challenge humanity would lead to certain destruction. The surviving alien ships, now little more than a handful, limped back to their territory. The tales they carried were filled with horror and disbelief. They spoke of the planet-sized warships, colossal and invincible, wielding power that could annihilate entire fleets with ease. The alien commanders, once confident in their mission, now faced the reality that their empire had been met with a force they could neither understand nor defeat. The warships were not just weapons, they were the ultimate deterrent, a clear signal that humanity had the means to protect itself from any threat. As the remnants of the alien fleet returned to their empire, the galaxy took notice. The stories of the warships spread quickly, reaching every corner of the known universe. Species that had once viewed humanity as vulnerable or insignificant now saw them in a new light. The planet-sized warships were more than just a display of power, they were a statement that humanity had ascended to a new level of influence in the galaxy. The implications were profound, and the message sent by the warships would not soon be forgotten. The confrontation had ended as quickly as it began, but its impact would resonate for generations. The alien empire, once so sure of its dominance, was forced to reconsider its stance. The warships had proven their worth, not just as military assets but as symbols of a new era. Humanity had demonstrated that it was capable of defending itself against any foe, and in doing so, had reshaped the balance of power in the galaxy. The warships, now known across the stars, had fulfilled their purpose as the ultimate deterrent, ensuring that Earth would never again face the threat of invasion. The aftermath of the warship's deployment sent shockwaves through the alien empire. The once unshakable confidence of the empire's leaders was now shattered. The revelation of humanity's planet-sized warships had upended their long-held perception of power, leaving them in disarray. The Empire, which had prided itself on military dominance and technological superiority, now faced an existential crisis. Internal conflicts erupted among the leadership, with some advocating for immediate peace, fearing total annihilation if they continued to provoke the humans. Others, however, stubbornly refused to accept defeat, insisting that they could find a way to counter the warship's overwhelming power. The divisions grew deeper, paralyzing the Empire's decision-making process and casting doubt on their ability to continue the war. The broader galaxy reacted with a mix of awe and fear. The sight of the planet-sized warships had left a lasting impression on species far and wide. For many, these warships were not just symbols of human ingenuity but harbingers of a new era where Earth was no longer a distant, inconsequential world but a dominant force to be reckoned with. Some species, seeing the writing on the wall, began to reconsider their alliances. Those who had previously aligned with the alien empire started to distance themselves, fearing retribution from the humans. Others, seeking protection or favor, considered reaching out to Earth to form new alliances, recognizing that humanity was now a key player in the galactic power structure. On Earth, the warship's success brought about a different kind of reckoning. The sheer scale of the destruction they had wrought left many questioning the moral implications of wielding such power. In the halls of government, and among the public, debates raged about the responsibility that came with the control of these behemoths. Some argued that the warships should be kept as a last resort, only to be used in the direst of circumstances. They feared that the power to destroy entire fleets with a single strike could corrupt, leading humanity down a path of imperialism and oppression. Others, however, believed that these warships were a necessary deterrent, a tool that could be used proactively to enforce peace and prevent conflicts from escalating. They saw the warships as not just a shield, but a sword that could be wielded to shape the future of the galaxy. Meanwhile, the alien empire, desperate to regain some semblance of control, launched a propaganda campaign aimed at downplaying the warships. Their media channels and government spokespeople worked tirelessly to portray the humans not as defenders of their world, but as oppressive conquerors who had built these warships to dominate and subjugate. They sought to rally their population and military by framing the conflict as a fight for survival against a ruthless, expansionist force. The propaganda was effective in some quarters, stirring up resentment and fear among those who had lost loved ones or homes to the warship's initial strike. However, the underlying fear and uncertainty about facing such overwhelming power remained a persistent undercurrent, even within the Empire's own ranks. The presence of the warships irrevocably shifted the balance of power in the galaxy. No longer could any species afford to dismiss humanity as a minor player. The warships, with their immense size and destructive capability, forced every faction to reconsider its position and strategy. Empires that had once plotted expansion and conquest now found themselves rethinking their ambitions. The threat of the warships loomed large in every diplomatic negotiation, every military planning session. Even species that had remained neutral began to arm themselves, fearful of what the future might hold in a galaxy where such weapons existed. For humanity, the warships were both a triumph and a burden. They had secured Earth's place among the stars, but at a cost that went beyond mere resources. The psychological weight of controlling such devastating power bore heavily on the shoulders of those responsible for the warship's deployment. As Earth's leaders pondered the path forward, they were acutely aware that they were now stewards of a force that could either safeguard the future or bring about its end. The galaxy had changed, and with it, humanity's role had expanded far beyond what anyone had envisioned. In the end, the warships had not just altered the course of a single conflict, they had reshaped the entire galaxy. The psychological fallout would reverberate for years, influencing decisions and strategies across countless star systems. Humanity, for better or worse, had proven that it could stand toe-to-toe with the most powerful forces in the universe. But with that power came the responsibility to wield it wisely, to ensure that the future they were building was one of peace and prosperity, not fear and destruction. The warships were a deterrent, yes, but they were also a test a test of humanity's ability to rise above the very forces of war and destruction they had so effectively harnessed. The alien empire, once so certain of its dominance, now faced a stark and unavoidable truth. The war they had planned to wage against humanity was no longer viable. The sheer power of the planet-sized warships had shattered their confidence, leaving them with little choice but to reconsider their ambitions. After much deliberation and internal conflict, the Empire's leaders made a reluctant but pragmatic decision. They would halt their invasion plans and seek a tentative peace. They understood that to continue the war would be to invite their own destruction, and that the balance of power had irrevocably shifted in humanity's favor. With the alien Empire's overture for peace on the table, Earth's leaders found themselves at a crossroads. The planet-sized warships had proven their worth, but now came the question of what to do with such overwhelming power. Some argued that humanity should accept the peace, withdraw the warships, and focus on rebuilding after the crisis. They saw the warships as a deterrent that had served its purpose and believed that returning to a stance of peaceful coexistence was the best way to avoid further conflict. Others, however, believed that this was an opportunity to reshape the galaxy's future. They argued that the warships should be used as leverage, not just to secure peace, but to enforce it, ensuring that no other species would ever dare to threaten Earth or its allies again. As the warships continued their patrols, their mere presence became a catalyst for change across the galaxy. Several species, recognizing the new balance of power, approached humanity with offers of alliance. These species, once wary or indifferent to Earth, now saw the humans as the dominant force in the galaxy, a force capable of protecting them from the aggression of others. These new alliances were not just strategic, they were a recognition of humanity's ascension to a position of unparalleled influence. For Earth, these alliances presented both opportunities and challenges. They could build a coalition that would maintain peace across the stars, but they also risked becoming entangled in conflicts that were not their own. Amid these developments, a deeper reflection began to take hold among Earth's leaders and citizens. The warships had given humanity an unprecedented level of power, but with that power came immense responsibility. There was a growing awareness of the potential for misuse, of the fine line between protector and oppressor. The discussions in government and among the public became more focused on how to wield this power wisely. Could they truly use the warships to enforce peace without becoming the very tyrants they had sought to defend against? The weight of this responsibility loomed large, and the decisions made now would shape the future not just for Earth, but for the entire galaxy. As the story drew to a close, the vision of the future began to take shape. Humanity, now a key player on the galactic stage, stood at the dawn of a new era. The planet-sized warships, once symbols of desperation and defense, had become emblems of Earth's commitment to ensuring that peace would prevail. Yet, there was an understanding that this peace would not be easily maintained. The challenges ahead were numerous, balancing the use of power, managing alliances, and addressing the inevitable moral dilemmas that would arise. The final reflection acknowledged these complexities, hinting at the ongoing struggle to use the warships not for conquest, but as a force for good. In the end, humanity's role as a protector of the galaxy was both a privilege and a burden. The story left the door open for future conflicts, for the potential misuse of power, and for the ongoing debate over what it truly means to be a guardian of peace. The warships had changed everything, but the story made clear that the real test lay in how humanity would use this power moving forward. The galaxy, now reshaped by these events, looked to Earth not just for leadership, but for the wisdom and restraint that would define this new era. The story ended with a sense of cautious optimism, tempered by the knowledge that the challenges ahead would be as great as the victories already won.